As a result of my speech, I will be informing my audience on the foster care system. My central idea is that children are being placed into the foster care system and it's only supposed to be temporary, but it's becoming permanent until they turn 18 when they are kicked out of the program. The foster care system is supposed to be giving these children loving homes and loving families, and it's only destroying them in the long run. And my interest in this topic is because when they turn 18, they are kicked out of the program. What do they do after that? How do they find a job? How do they find a home? The foster care system is probably all they have known, so what do they do after that? And I think that college students should be informed on this topic because we're at the age where we could change the system. We're at the age where we can make this system great for these children, where we can give them loving homes and loving families. And I've learned, according to childwelfare.org in 2020, over 400,000 children are placed into the system, and that is too many children. And today I will be discussing first what the foster care system is, second, the reasons children are placed into the foster care system, and third, how the foster care system affects the children in the long run. But first, I will be talking about what the foster care system is. The foster care system is known as a temporary home. And the foster care system can either give these children up for adoption if they don't have relatives. But most of the time, these children are staying in the foster care system. And the foster care system is a placement setting. So there are 4 placement settings, one of them being a group home. The second is residential living facilities. Third, emergency shelters. And fourth, independent living. And all 4 of these are just different places where these children can go and live throughout the foster care system. And next, I will be talking to you guys about the reasons these children are placed into the foster care system. And according to Kraft in 2020, his article, Children Can Enter Foster Care for Different Reasons, he says that the most common reason is abuse. And I will be talking about the 2 abuses. One of them is physical abuse, where there are bruises and injuries that are documented, and they are given to social workers for that child to be placed out of that home. And then the second abuse is sexual abuse. And that's just not just penetration, it could be fondling, it could be pornographic, where the parents are taking pictures of their children. And then there is another common reason, and that is neglect. And that could be the parents not giving them proper food, proper shelter. There's also medical neglect, where the parents aren't letting the child go to a doctor and they need to go really bad. And then there are other reasons such as abandonment, death of the parent, jail, truancy, juvenile offenses, and runaways. And lastly, I want to talk about how the system affects the children in the long run. Many children are severely affected by the foster care system. According to Faber, his article, How Does Foster Care Affect Children's Lives in 2020, children are, when they turn 18, they are kicked out of the system. After the removal, they are stranded, and most of the time they don't have a job, so they can't get a home, they can't get an apartment or anything, so they're just stuck. And maybe they turn to a life of crime, and there are very few of them that become good individuals. And next, according to Lee, her article, Long-Term Head Start Impact on Developmental Outcomes for Children in the Foster Care System, In 2020, some children lack attachment and they lack trust. They lack trust because their parents left them, so they don't know who they can trust or who they can be around. And lastly, they lack attachment because maybe they have a child that's a friend to them that's been placed up for adoption and they leave. And everyone constantly leaves their life, their parents and their friends that they have made. So they don't create any more attachments throughout their lives. To summarize, I have discussed what the foster care system is, how the reasons that the children are placed into the foster care system, and the effects that the foster care system has on the children in the long run. People that have been placed into the foster care system are severely affected. So think about the way you talk to people, because you never know what that person has been through.